You expect silence, nothing to hear. But signals travel, waves move, and when converted, space has a sound. Space looks empty, silent, still, endless. But signals repeat, stars collapse, planets burn. Some things out there should not exist. This is Space Horrors, the universe that should not exist. Space is often described as silent, and in one sense, that is true. In empty vacuum, sound cannot move the way it moves through air. There is no atmosphere to compress, no ordinary medium to carry a voice. But silence does not mean nothing is happening. Radiation travels, magnetic fields shift, particles stream, stars vibrate, plasma bends and ripples. The universe is not quiet because it is inactive. It is quiet because our ears were built for air. Space is not silent. We are just not built to hear it. To hear space, scientists often have to translate it. This process is called sonification. It takes data, brightness, position, energy, frequency, or motion, and maps it into sound. High energy light can become a higher pitch. Brighter regions can become louder. Movement can become rhythm. The sound is not a microphone recording of empty space. It is data made audible. Because it turns invisible structure into something the brain can follow. A galaxy becomes a chord. A nebula becomes a sweep. A black hole environment becomes a pattern. Not noise, information. Stars are not solid objects. They are vast spheres of plasma, heated, compressed, and constantly moving. Inside them, waves can travel. Pressure can rise and fall. The surface can expand and contract in tiny rhythms. Astronomers study these oscillations through a field called asteroseismology. It works like listening to a star from the outside. This is not heard with ears, but with light instead. As the star vibrates, its brightness changes slightly. Those changes reveal structure beneath the surface. Age, density, rotation, hidden layers. The star is not silent. It is ringing. Then there are pulsars, dead stars with impossible density, spinning at extreme speed, sending beams of radiation into space. When those beams sweep across Earth, we detect pulses, radio, X-ray, gamma ray, arriving with astonishing precision. Some pulse like clocks, steady enough to measure time across the galaxy. When converted into audio, they can sound like ticks, clicks, machine-like rhythms from a collapsed star. But nothing mechanical is inside. Only gravity, magnetism, rotation, and a core crushed beyond normal matter. A dead star keeping time. There are also places in space where sound is not only translation. It can be physical. In the cold silence of the deep, not in empty vacuum, but in gas and plasma thick enough to carry pressure waves. Galaxy clusters can contain enormous reservoirs of hot gas, spread across distances too large to imagine. In the Perseus galaxy cluster, astronomers identified pressure waves moving through that gas. A supermassive black hole disturbed the surrounding medium, and the ripples moved outward, too low for human hearing, too vast for ordinary scale, but still, waves moving through matter. The sound was not absent. It was simply too deep to hear. Even our own star is not quiet. The sun vibrates from deep within. It boils with intense plasma. A violent system launches particles from the solar corona and sends electromagnetic energy across the solar system. Spacecraft measure waves in the solar wind, magnetic disturbances such as fluctuations in the field, radio bursts across the spectrum, and particles accelerated by solar activity, converted into sound. These measurements can become low rumbles, pulses, and shifting tones. But the important part is not the sound itself. It is what the sound reveals. A star is not a steady lamp, but a violent engine. It is a violent plasma system, broadcasting change in every direction. We live inside its signal. Space sounds feel unsettling for a reason. They do not behave like familiar sound. They are stretched across impossible distances, shifted into human range, built from radiation, timing, pressure, and light. A pulse may come from a dead star. A drone may come from a galaxy cluster. A tone may come from a star, breathing in and out. The brain hears pattern, but the source is not alive, not musical, not designed to communicate. That is what makes it disturbing. The universe sounds structured without ever meaning to be, order without intention. The mistake is thinking silence means absence. Space is not empty of activity. It is filled with forms of motion we cannot sense directly. Electromagnetic waves, plasma waves, stellar oscillations, radio pulses, pressure ripples moving through cosmic gas. Some are translated, some are shifted, some are scaled until the human ear can enter the data. And when that happens, the silence breaks, not because space was waiting to be heard, but because the universe was moving the entire time. Space is not silent. It is beyond human hearing. Light does not always tell the truth. Gravity bends it, lukes it, duplicates entire galaxies across space, and what you see may not exist where it appears. The universe does not need monsters. It has gravity, radiation, pressure, vacuum, and somewhere beyond what we can see, the next anomaly is already moving. This is space horrors, the universe that should not exist.